What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I love it when you call me Big Papa. You know, my Mondays used to be waking up in the morning, going to the golf course. What are you laughing at, EP? Playing 18, playing 36, maybe even 54 holes of golf, leaving, getting some pizza with the boys, going to catch a movie. Those were fun times, weren't they, boys? You know what else is fun? It's really fun getting up on a Monday morning and talking about sports cars with the two best friends anybody could ever have. Of course, Joe Day and wait, I have this. I know it. Hold on. Damn it. What's his name?
There. It's right there on the screen. It's right
I don't know. That guy down there. How you doing, boys?
It's Aaron Poughkeepsie.
No. Okay.
It's close. Pretty close,
I
though.
can't remember his name.
If
only we could remember his name.
I don't know it. That little thing on your screen, I have no idea what that means.
Eugene.
I think it is
Ponderosa. Eugene Ponderosa, maybe.
Pepperoni, maybe.
I'm going by Eugene Ponderosa for the rest of my life.
Eugene Ponderosa.
Hey, Eugene.
We joke. Of course, it's EP Eric Howick, which I say on the intro of every single podcast. All 189
if only
of
people
them.
watched them.
If only they watched them.
If only. Oh, we kid, of course.
We kid.
No, I'm dead
People
serious.
have no idea what we're talking about.
No,
Either,
Absolutely not.
But what they'll take away from this one, Eugene Ponderosa. And I like that.
Eugene
We all will.
Ponderosa. Who doesn't like that? That's a t-shirt right there.
It is. And I'm joined with EP Eugene Ponderosa.
Wow. We're all
No offense to
already.
Eugene Ponderosa watching. It's an awesome name. That's why we're laughing.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
great
no
name.
offense.
Great name, Eugene. Gene, if you're nasty. So clap, clap. I want to say that the streak, boys, the streak has continued.
Wow.
Pitt hasn't lost a game in 6 weeks since I wrote this down, September 27th. We were on bye this week. I didn't say we won a game. I say we haven't lost a game in 6 weeks, but even more fun. EP's favorite team, the Penn State Nittany Lions, have not won a game in 8 weeks. 0-6 in that span. And you know what was great about this week, boys? You know the best part? They thought they had a chance. It was so close. It was so adorable. And then one of the best catches in college football all year occurs, and they lose by 3 points. Oh, it was fantastic. EP, I'm sorry. My condolences to your favorite team, the Penn State Nittany Lions. It's gotten to the point where people message me and be like, oh, EP's favorite team lost again. This is like happening. I love it so much. Your second favorite team takes on my alma mater, the Pitt Panthers. We're going to lose by at least 21. I'm guessing it's going to be a 21-point spread at least, but it's been a fun run for Pitt. 5-0 in those 6 weeks that we have not lost a game. So, yes, things have been going good. EP, do you want to defend the Penn State Nittany Lions before I move on?
No, I'm Notre Dame fan, so I'm good.
Notice how quickly he jumps to a different team.
Listen.
Yeah, finally jumped to a different team once the Nittany Lions. When they were 3-0, man, that's all he talked about. I had text threads.
This is not
just constantly talking about how they should be the number 1 ranked team. And then they lose 6 in a row. He's like, where is Penn State? Do I even know Penn State? Yeah, it's crazy.
I think they're from Ohio. Yeah.
They might be from Ohio.
I know I speak for all the viewers in that I feel like there should be a little bit of skin in this game here between you two coming up. We'll figure out a point line. We need a bet here. The viewers want a bet between.
I'm going to need at least 21 points. Eugene Ponderosa needs to lay out 21.
I'm not giving you 21. I'll give you a decent, but 21 is a lot for.
You got to give me 21 at least. No, anyway, I think that's the line.
We'll wait till the line comes out, then we'll talk about it.
Well, yeah, sure we will. EP. Anyway, another streak continues. Yes, thank you, PSA, through the eBay authentication program. Looking terrible again, boys. Another week. So I have notes because it's been so bad. I had to write down everything that's been going on. So I talked last week about the factory cut. I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah, I was going to say, could you turn that off?
Clap. All right, there we go.
All right, there we go. You're back.
All right. So John got the card that was cut short at the factory, measured it, 2.5 by 3.5, you know.
The actual size
the measurement
of a card. Yeah.
And put it up against every other card from that set that he has autographs of. Same exact size. So, and I have one up here. It's this Shatner up here. It's from the same set. So if I sent that in, probably would get sent back because it's cut factory short. I sent you boys a picture of one where the edges were rough or something like that. And I looked at the picture and I'm like, am I missing something here? How these edges look like edges of cards. I have no idea. Luckily, the buyer was like, yeah, this is dumb. I'm going to take this card. So that wasn't a big deal. But and then we got another one. John actually took a picture of there was some damage on the back of the Forrest Kelly card. These are very, very valuable cards. Very rarely come up on eBay. He only signed 2 cards before he passed away. John denoted the damage. He took pictures, detailed pictures of the damage. The mistake he made is he put that it was near mint to mint. So eBay is telling you that even if you show the damage, talk about any damage, but mislabel it, but then on the flip, when you do that, where there isn't enough damage to warrant below a 7, which is again near mint, they kick it back. So what I'm basically thinking here is eBay's just going to kick it back or PSA is just going to kick it back whenever they want to, right? Is that what we're going with?
I think this is a pretty well established that. Yeah.
This was a $2,500 card, by the way.
Wow.
They got kicked back. Yeah. So again, denote the damage. I think at this point, just put what's the lowest one? Poor. Just put them all poor at this point.
Did the buyer refuse to take it, even though all the damage was denoted and shown?
Yep.
Wow. I can't explain a lot of things in this hobby right now. Mike, I started doing what you said. This was going back a couple weeks at this point. You just put excellent for all your cards now instead of putting like near mint or whatever, just because. And even though most of mine, I think, are easily are 7s or better, like I just started doing excellent just because of this whole situation. Even though I'm selling like cards at $1.65, $1.65, not 2,500. But even at that level, I'm like, I'm not dealing with that if that's going to be the way things are. I mean, like I said, most of my cards are above that, but like there's probably 1 or 2 that aren't, and I'm not going to take any more chances of dealing with that. So I'll just make them all excellent. You know?
Do people even look at that? I don't even look at what they listed it at when I look at a card. Like I look at the description, I look at the photos, but I've never gone, oh well, let's see, is this like you're asking the buyer to be a professional grader for the card that they're selling, and a lot of people aren't. So good pictures, good description. That's all you need. Right. You don't need that.
Phone cameras are so good now and everything. Like there's no way there shouldn't be a good photo of your thing or whatever you're selling 100%. On eBay. There just should not be any question. You should have, and again, if there's damage and you take the photos of it, you should be able to get a decent photo of it for it to show up. Like, and I'm sure your buddy took really good photos and explained everything the way it should be done, like a good seller.
And again, 100%. That's how it should be. Like, if you're not going to have the notation of the grade actually matter until you want it to matter, that's what pisses me off. Like, if you're telling me that a card that clearly would grade a 7 or higher, oh, well, no, there's the smallest of dimples on the back, we're going to kick that back. Doesn't matter if it would be 7 or higher. And then the reverse happens where he denotes everything. And then they're like, oh, we're going to have to really look at what you denote. It's just like, come on, man, like do something. Like eBay needs to do something too. eBay needs to be like, and we're going to talk about another company, another platform using another service here on the show. And I'm really happy about that. But just eBay and PSA are just really screwing this thing up. A program, again, I really, really liked. I went to bat for this program quite a bit when people were complaining, oh, it takes too long to get my cards, this and that. I'm like, no, it's a good service. Here's why. Now I can't say that anymore because I don't think it's a good service. I think it's just a way to push people to grade. We've said it for weeks now. The streak continues with all three things: Penn State, Pitt, and that. I mean, it's just it feels like an unstoppable force at this point. So, last thing I wanted to talk about quick is the Game of Thrones. I have the official number. We have 11 folks have bought spots. Keep in mind there are 20 spots available. This is a 20-box case. If you reached out and you don't hear your name, comment down below or let me know. EP, you have 2 boxes coming. Mike, you have a box. On Amazon did comment that he would or they, I don't know if on Amazon is a man or a woman. So you have 2 boxes on Amazon. Mark from Maine, correct? Mark, who drove from Maine, he has a box. Enter the Brew has a box. Bargain Boxer has a box. He took the case hit from Cheers. I know, right? My buddy Star Trek John has a box. Brad, Card Guy 272, has a box. And JB, usually the first to comment, sometimes the second, we get worried, has claimed a box as well. And then 3 folks have claimed albums. So if you are interested in Game of Thrones, The Great Houses, JoeDay17821 on social media, or comment down below. This is one of the promo cards. I have a few promo cards, and I'm going to have some case hits case toppers as giveaways as well. So get in touch somehow if you're interested. We have, as of now, a lot of people saying, oh, maybe I'll take a box or 2. December. You have about a month. Let us know for sure. It'll be a fun time regardless, and I'd rather not sell the unopened boxes like on eBay or whatever. But, if we get to that point, since we're not doing a draft style, we talked about this before. We're just going to random boxes basically, and then open up that box for you and do it that way, since I have no idea about anything about Game of Thrones, and I don't want to have to be the one to pick someone's box if they are not there. So we are just going to be opening up those boxes. So any that don't sell, I will be selling on eBay. I got to make sure I don't want to lose money on this thing. So again, we have 9 spots left as of now. If you are interested, let us know.
Okay.
Awesome.
Good dude. What's new with you, EP?
I actually saw that promo card on Rittenhouse's website, and I'm probably going to send in an envelope and get one of them sent to me. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Tyrion. I mean, there's some people that argue that Tyrion is like the main, like the story is kind of told through his eyes in a lot of cases, and then shows. So he's a cool character. I'm gonna open up my beverage right now.
Okay.
So that character, apparently one of his quotes is, I drank and I know things, I believe.
Yes, it is.
That's a great line.
He's got some of the best, most quotable lines in the entire show. He's always got a good quip of some type, good thing to say. Okay. So, anyhow, I listened to my normal podcasts this week, and there was one that was the host and another guy, the backup guy, were talking about some stuff. They brought in a guest, and they were talking, and the one host kind of said, intimated, kind of said that he thinks that Shohei Ohtani, like 10 years from now, people are going to look at cards in their binders like they look at Eddie George cards in their binders. And I'm like, that's one of the most ridiculous takes I've ever heard in my entire life. Like Ohtani's doing things that Ohtani's doing things that the sport has never seen. Eddie George, great player, one of my favorite players back in the day, but this isn't even close. Like, and also the kinds of cards now compared to what we had back in the 90s, like it just so, as far as like higher end stuff, I mean, like it made zero sense. I'm like, this person doesn't know ball. Like, why are they even on a podcast? So that was, I just wanted.
Did they say that like the higher end stuff or like the commons?
Did you mean base cards or what?
I mean, I guess they were talking about all cards and about how all of Ohtani's cards were not going to be worth anything in 10 years or whatever, because they're going to be like Eddie George. So
first off, there are some cards from the 90s of Eddie George that are actually worth money.
Oh yeah.
But that's ridiculous on its own. But then to compare, again, great running back, but Ohtani could probably stop playing baseball today and probably have a Hall of Fame case.
He is 100%. There's at this point you can keep him out. Yeah.
Eddie George never did any of the things that Shohei Ohtani has already done many times. Yeah, he's made history numerous times. So, no offense to Eddie George,
fine player,
decent running back. Yeah, he was a very good running back, but he was never even the best of what was in the league at the time when he played. So
he would have had to win 2 Super Bowls, be the leader in yardage and touchdowns on the offensive side, then on certain special games, go and play linebacker and have a bunch of interceptions and a bunch of fumble recoveries and tackles and shit like that. What are we sacks? What are we talking about?
And in the AFC Championship game, rush for 250 yards and 5 touchdowns and have 3 interceptions in that game. Literally, because that's what Ohtani did in that one, the one NLCS game.
Wild. So what a weird comparison.
I figured you guys would enjoy it as much as I did and have the kind of takes that I did when I heard it. I was like, what is this guy even talking about?
Why are you wasting your podcast time listening to that podcast?
Yeah.
I seriously thought about unsubscribing. I really did. It's like, that's the worst take I've ever heard.
Sometimes you just gotta cut podcasts out of your life. Like there was this one podcast who called Warren Moon a scrambling quarterback. The fact that I didn't unsubscribe right there, I mean, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it just I was like, Warren Moon is not a scrambling quarterback, and there was question about why he was in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, I think I gotta end it. I gotta unsubscribe. You just have to do that sometimes. Why waste the hour a week or every couple of weeks?
Gotcha. Yep, you're right.
We have trouble remembering names anyway, Joe. So
yeah.
No wonder you don't remember the name of it. All right, well, let's get into it. We all know about the big antitrust lawsuit that Panini filed against Fanatics. Going to be ongoing forever unless they reach a settlement, right? Who knows? That'll be drag out forever. But that is not the only antitrust suit in the hobby. This week, Wildcard, do you remember them? No. Wildcard actually sued Panini for antitrust violations. Now, the information I'm going to give here are Wildcard's claims. I'm not saying they're fact, but this is what they're saying. They are claiming that Panini forced 4 major distributors to stop carrying Wildcard product. And they're also claiming that Panini threatened at least one manufacturer, which then stopped producing cards for Wildcard. Now, if you want to go back and remember Wildcard got some money from Panini because Panini flat out stole the Stat Smashers inserts that were they put it in something and Wildcard sued them, and they got money for it. So I'm not a lawyer, but I do know about people being vindictive. This kind of feels like Panini's like, okay, if you're going to cost us money, we're going to cost you money. Again, these are Wildcard's accusations in the lawsuit. No response from Panini yet. This is one-sided, but what they're saying here, I mean, these feel like things that they could prove. Like they're not just general vague things. There are specific things here that they're saying, and I kind of feel like if you put 2 and 2 together about they had to pay them because they sued them before, they may have made them mad, and they may have pulled some strings and used some power to hurt them. I don't know. Again, I'm just a guy on a podcast brainstorming, not saying any of this is the truth, but kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm curious who the manufacturer of the cards were, because maybe there's a second lawsuit coming. I don't know. Talk about trying to, dick swinging contest, right? Like, okay, you screwed with us. We're gonna show you that we still have some clout, right? And we can get distributors to, and I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all if they did it. I who knows? Like, these are very easy to prove things. Like, I think the going to distributors and telling them not to carry Wildcard, there's got to be some sort of smoking gun. Like, a distributor had to have reached out to Wildcard and been like, no, we can't carry your stuff. Panini will cut our distribution out, right? So there's got to be something there for them to go and do that. The other one, it's tough because I didn't know like Panini would have that kind of clout over the printing process. Maybe
if they're
do.
Printing a lot of their product though, and they're like, you know what, if you continue to print for them, we're going to go with another company.
Yeah, it's possible, but there are only so many companies that do that, and some of them are owned by Fanatics, so it's like a weird, like, this whole hobby is very incestuous when it comes to these different businesses and companies. It's all the same distributors, you know, the big ones like Dave and Adams and Steel City and all those places. All the big breakers are all kind of playing in that same sandbox. And you've got all the distributors, all the printers, you know, it's very, very, it wouldn't surprise me if a company would just flat out say, no, you do that and you're done with us. It's weird timing though with Panini. They can't really do that though, can they? Like, they're going to be gone soon. Like, what distributor is like?
I don't know when this took place. This may have been something that has, you know, happened a while ago.
When they still had like a lot of whack with the different companies.
Yeah. Well, a lawsuit. First off, a lawsuit. Anybody can sue anybody for anything, and put whatever kind of claims they want in the lawsuit. They want to spend the money to get the lawyer and file it, all that sort of stuff. That said, this is the kind of thing, like you said, Mike, where it's probably provable. Like our guy that used to be our main solicitor, he's now like has more of a corporate position, but he doesn't send emails about certain things. He'll call people because he doesn't want to have that trail. But this feels like a situation where there's definitely an email somewhere from somebody saying, yeah, we can't distribute you guys anymore because we got some pushback from Panini. Or I'm guessing there's probably something somewhere, and it'll be interesting to see how this all comes out. Again, this is all one-sided, so it's all speculation. But I also know that every time whenever I go to a Walmart or a Target, I check out the card selection. I may not buy anything, but I always check it out. And there was a stretch there where there was a lot of that wild card, like matte, like a bunch of like wild card boosters and that sort of stuff. And I haven't seen any new wild card stuff probably in a couple of years. And so that seems like they've been cut off by the distributor in our area anyway. And so it's just so there are a lot of pieces here that are kind of like fitting together into to make this actually.
Or maybe they just didn't make new product recently too. I mean, which also could be tied into not being able to print new product. But I guess my question is, who is looking at Panini and saying, nah, I'm going to buy wild card? Like, does anyone do that? Like, if Panini did this, it is the I don't know, one of the weirdest things, because are you that afraid of wild card taking your sales? Like, I
don't think it's that. I think it was vindictive. Maybe because they sued them. They had to pay them money, so they're mad. So, okay, well, we'll show
They're already mad because of Fanatics. So,
or now follow me on this one.
Okay.
What if I really do? What if Fanatics has something to do with this and getting wild card to sue Panini for antitrust violations, so Fanatics can use the fact that Panini was doing the same thing in their lawsuit against them? As ridiculous as that is, you have to admit it's probably not as ridiculous as it sounds.
I'm so mad at myself, Mike, because when you sent us the topics this morning, I swear to God on Bailey's life, I was going to bring that up. I'm like so excited, so much stuff on my to-do list to talk about, and I totally forgot about that one. But then when you mentioned what they were suing them for, I thought it would definitely be a Fanatics helping lawsuit if it had to do with wildcard being like, we haven't been able to get any exclusive licenses in years because of Panini, and sue them for like that situation. But I could totally see, just if nothing else, Fanatics being like, wild card, can you distract Panini? Can you bother them from that?
At the same time, though, like, you know, I talked last week about the intellectual property, and I feel like the exclusivity of that is hard to make a claim for. But things like this, using your size to be able to push other competitors out of the industry is where you become more of a monopoly. It's not just, oh, well, you're the only one that can make NBA cards. It's since we're the only one that can make NBA cards, you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that. And I feel like, if Panini is being accused of doing this stuff, that would kind of weaken any case they would have to point the finger at Fanatics and say, yeah, but you're doing this to us. And I feel like this helps them, which automatically makes me question if they had anything to do with it. I don't know. I'm just a dumb guy sitting on a podcast, but knowing our hobby, you can't say there's no chance.
It's
Yeah,
100%
I mean,
what happened. What were we talking about?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I don't even need the hat, conspiracy hat, right? It just makes too much sense. Them telling them that you can't print the cards, to me, is the thing that really bugs me. Like, and again, this is all through a lawsuit. We don't know for sure, but if that's the case, like that to me is the real frustrating part, because like that is bullying on a degree that I didn't think was even like could happen in the hobby. I guess Fanatics, is like trying to push out distributors. No, I mean, to go to the manufacturer though, and say no, that to me
it would almost be like telling someone they can't print your cards anymore because of the printing company that they own.
Ownership's a different thing, but if you're a contracting company and you contract with all these companies, and then you get like one of your biggest I think it's different for the Topps one because they own those printing presses. In this case, I assume this is a third party printing press, unless the whole Fanatics conspiracy thing all happened at the print building, the press building. They were the ones that have the emails. So I guess it's possible.
Well, I'll ask you this, and I completely agree with everything we're talking about. Like I completely agree that if Panini did what is being levied against them, then there should be some sort of payout. This it sounds bad. It does sound bad. But my question is, if you are a large company and go to let's say a printer and say, hey, this is our competition, don't print for them or we'll go someplace else. Is there legality to that? Like if they just say, if you print with them, we'll go elsewhere. Kind of like we think Fanatics says to breakers, hey, if you break this product or don't break enough of this product, you're not going to get any sort of product from us. Like, okay, so where's the legality lie in that? If a major company is saying to a printing company, we'll just go to another printing company if you print their stuff. I don't know. Is that illegal?
But it seems like it's probably illegal. It seems like
that's the kind of stuff that would lead you to have an antitrust case filed against you. That's like the real world way. If you're using your position to push out others and keep competition out, then a case can be made against you. I don't know if it's illegal, but it doesn't. You could be sued for it. Like this is awful for Panini, just the fact that they filed it, whether or not it's true or not. Because that Fanatics is going to introduce this as evidence if they ever go to trial that, look, they're doing the same thing. Now you have Panini, who already lost the one license. So their revenue is going to go down greatly. It's going to go down even more the beginning of next year. And now you're suing them, who has a lot of money, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money to try to win that. And now this company is suing you, and now you're going to have to spend more money trying to fight that. This seems like a really bad situation overall for Panini. Like their revenue stream in America is going to be cut to almost nothing as of the spring of next year.
Did you see EP's computer desk move when you started talking about how bad it was for Panini? Like something's happening. Like someone's getting a little excited about it.
Joe, you got to get that conspiracy hat out, because I feel like I lost my train of thought. Oh my god! I had such a
great idea though.
I had such a good laugher. Good take.
Yeah, we're the ones that can't remember names, Joe.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it will be interesting to see if anything comes from this, because I'm interested to see. Wild card probably doesn't have that much money to sue. Would anyone be surprised if the story comes out that Fanatics is all of a sudden legit paying for this lawsuit? Like, what's the legality of that?
I got it back.
You're welcome.
Get the hat out. This is all part of
quick before you lose it.
Fanatics' plan to buy Panini. They're trying to drive down the value of Panini, trying to drive them into legal debt, and so that's all part of the plan to get Panini at a better.
No hat necessary.
Yeah,
if they're going after Panini through wild card, that's what they're trying to do.
Or maybe wild card just doesn't make cards that people want to buy, and that's why nobody's selling them.
That
anymore.
was my whole point. Like, what? Like, who goes into a hobby shop and says? That's what made it so weird to me that Panini would do it other than being vindictive, right? Because no one's going,
it's people who can't afford a leaf by wild card.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Well, this next topic is quite interesting. And I told you guys not to listen to Dr. Beckett's podcast because I wanted to tell you this with my slant on it, and I didn't want you to hear what they actually said. But no, I feel like it's a little surprising. There's been a lot of talk about shill bidding lately. Collector Patrick Ryan, he's one of the big collectors. He's the guy, I believe, that got the 4 GOAT signatures on the same thing. He's a huge collector. Maybe buys a little bit higher end than we typically do. But the other week, somebody noticed that he had bid on one of his items, and he said it was an accident. I'm not here to determine whether or not it was or what it was. It's really not even about Patrick Ryan. I want to talk more about Dr. Beckett. On the podcast, I was actually taken aback at his thinking on shill bidding. He was not anti-shill bidding. He actually used a term, defensive shill bidding. Okay. What is defensive shill bidding, you might ask, Mike? Well, it's basically putting in a reserve. He made the comment that if it's a low bid, it doesn't mess with comps. And he also said it's disruptive if known items, like bigger named items, don't have a selling floor. So he feels like it's okay to bid defensively, to put a defensive shill bid to make sure that a card reaches at least a certain level, kind of like putting a reserve on it by bidding, saying, well, if I don't get this for it, I'll buy it back myself. And he didn't have a problem with that. And that really kind of surprised me. My opinion on this is, if we're going to normalize any kind of shill bidding, it's a really slippery slope. Where do you stop? Where is that floor that is okay to put a bid in on and one that isn't? What if I think that, well, if my card doesn't sell for $300 more than what I paid for it, I would rather have it anywhere under that level. So that's the same exact thing as doing it at a lower level. We can't normalize shill bidding. Dr. Beckett made the comment that this has been going on for 50 years, which it has been. That doesn't make it right? Right. I was just really shocked with how pro defensive shill bidding Dr. James Beckett was on his podcast. He was more pro that than Patrick Ryan was, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. Real quickly about the Patrick Ryan thing is one of the things he said is he just wanted to watch along with the auction, so he bid a very low amount on it. And I'm like, well, there is a watch button, but I say to EP all the time, there's a watch button on eBay, and EP never hits the watch button. He bids on something he wants to watch, not his own item, anyone, but he will bid on something and watch it through that lens. I've always thought that was weird. So that's why I kind of called BS on it. But we have seen EP do that, which, again, find it weird. There is a watch button. You can watch all those things. As for defensive shill bidding, it's just shill bidding. It's not throw defensive in there. It's just shill bidding. You're shill bidding your item.
Defensive is trying to make it sound better than it is.
Right.
Yeah,
You're being defensive
exactly.
about defensive shill bidding, obviously. But the thing that, so I get where he's coming from, but that's why they have reserves. Just use a reserve. Like
some places don't. Some of the auction houses don't have reserves. So
then don't use that auction house. Like, honestly, like it to me, anyone who's going to put a card out for auction, no matter the platform, it's out of your hands, man. At that point,
that's the free market that everybody loves when a card goes way high, but they don't want it to be able to go way low. So it's no longer a free market. It's a manipulated market.
And all three of us have talked about how we're buy it now or best offer on 99% of the stuff we sell. Mm-hmm. Like I'm getting a big Star Trek lot in from my buddy up in Canada, and I'm gonna auction some of that off. But just, like cards that I'm not fearful of going below. They're cards that whenever they come up for auction, they go big. I'm not going to take the risk on something that you don't see often, because we talk about that with 90s inserts all the time, right? Oh, this one went fixed price for $100. It went to bid for $22. That's just kind of how it is with some stuff. So if you're that concerned about it and they don't have reserves on the auction site you're thinking about using, maybe don't use that auction site. And if they do have reserve, use reserve or buy it now or best offer. I mean, there are a bunch of ways to protect yourself from a card that you're putting out there going for way less than you think it should. I'm betting the Babe Ruth guy really was wishing he would have put some defensive shill bids out there, huh? But like, I don't know. It's just a way to try and, like you said, Mike, normalize something that we really shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree 100% with everything Joe said. Again, go ditto for all that stuff. One of the things that I thought, talking about bidding for the floor, there's a lot of people in this hobby who have their floors way too high. And so that's a really dangerous thing to think about. That's the first part. The second part is, and I was shocked that I started listening to this podcast and I stopped, so I didn't get to listen to it. But I'm shocked that Dr. Beckett, of all people, is behind shill bidding, because this feels like one of those things that, like you said, has been around for a long time, and it has been a lot of people in the hobby dislike it. Like I'm shocked that he's one of the people that is behind this. Shill bidding to me fits my definition of, if you are caught doing it, people are going to be upset. You're going to get some huge feedback, negative feedback from people. You're going to have people that are going to be very upset with you. I think wasn't there somebody, a podcaster who did shill bidding on his cards and then ended up like quitting out of the hobby. Yeah. And like, so I mean, like this is a really bad thing. It's one of those things where if you get caught doing it, then you're going to, you should be thinking, I shouldn't do this because if I get caught, I'm going to get in trouble. And so that makes it those things in your head. I should never do this. That's shill bidding to me. So the fact that Dr. Beckett is okay with it really surprises me. Like because he's an old school guy.
He did define what a rookie is that you follow to this day. So if EP starts defensive shill bidding and uses Dr. Beckett as
he's my mentor, yeah. So I mean,
as your mentor, yeah, that's making me nervous. EP.
Let's call this for what it is. One of the hobby's biggest collectors got caught doing something that, when anybody else does it, is a bad thing, and the hobby says that's a bad thing. But when it's one of the top people, all of a sudden there's some kind of debate about it, and the old school people, unfortunately, like Dr. Beckett, will come out and also defend people like this. Just the thought of having him on the podcast, like, the whole reason he did that was to fucking normalize shill bidding. What are we fucking doing here? If this was me, Dr. Beckett would not be having me on the podcast to make it okay for what I did. But because it's a big collector, it's okay. That's the problem we have in this hobby. All those people that are making all the money on it and have all the money invested in it are going to make sure they don't get any kind of negative flack for the crap that they're doing to make sure everybody's money stays there and they can keep making it. They don't give a shit about cards and collecting. It's all about the money. And you have the people that give them the vehicles to be able to normalize their bad behavior. We see the normalization of bad behavior all over in this hobby. It's not going to end well. You can have your days and make your money now, but it's not going to end well. Where does shill bidding end? Where Dr. Beckett, I would have loved to just be able to say, okay, Dr. Beckett, what level of bid is it no longer a defensive bid? It becomes an offensive bid. Like, up to the point of what I have into it. Do I have, if I make money on it, it's bad. If I'm, making sure I don't lose any money on it, it's good. It's like, come on, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it's only because it was a big collector that got called out for doing this. I don't remember any other person ever getting the leeway that Patrick Ryan has gotten from this. Even he said, he was like, oh, and I'm getting all this flack when 90% of the people think it, like, have reached out to me saying, like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, come on, 90% of your people, this is what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah,
he's saying 90%, they're all the people that don't want this to anyhow be able to impact the money they can make and the way they can,
bidding.
Yeah, the way they can manipulate the markets on these cards, because a lot of these cards, the markets are being manipulated on. So people that have money invested can keep making money. My rant's over.
I'm very upset with the salty language. Again, historically, couple of times.
Yep.
And I go back, watch the tape, everyone. I am the one who swears the least and gets in trouble for it the most. That's the real travesty here.
That is
not true.
This
100%.
Maybe Dr. Beckett will have it on his podcast
maybe.
and defend your use of salty language.
No, defend my not use of salty language.
So is this like a step toward, like, Mike, you did a question about people doing like manipulating cards, like card cleaning, that sort of stuff. Is this also gonna be one of those things where like 50% of the hobby's okay with it? Like, I wonder if you put this out there, how much of the hobby is okay with this? Like that's and what does, and like you said, like, what is this, the normalization, the being on the Beckett podcast, then takes it a step further. And so like you said, Mike, there's so many like horrible parts of this hobby right now, and to add this into it is terrible.
Does anyone listen to the Beckett podcast? I
think so. I do. Yeah, I do.
Do you? Like, I don't know. He just seems like a guy who really thinks his shit don't stink. He thinks he's very, very, very important. And maybe back in the day he was. I don't know. I don't know if enough people listen to it to normalize it. It might just be normalized already anyway. Like, just,
I wonder how many people already. I mean, how many people
like us don't know it, but
right.
I'm sure
that's all. That's what's Jeff Wilson doing? What are these big collectors? What are these big collectors?
Jeff Wilson, I will say, he had a video and he talked about this, and he said he has never ever and will never ever. And Teapot was talking about having a bad dream that Jeff Wilson did this and that he would have been like crucified for it. And Jeff was playing a little bit of I would have been the victim, but he would have been. He absolutely would have been.
Unless he went, I don't know, unless he went on Beckett's podcast.
He went on Beckett's podcast, yeah.
I wonder how many people on that upper level, like, I'm glad I don't live in that space where I'm buying these super high end cards, but I wonder how many people up there are doing this kind of thing with those really high end cards already. Like, you think about, like, again, that, like you said, the Babe Ruth card, but you wonder about a lot of those cards if this kind of thing is happening up there, and if they're all okay with it up there and they're up in the penthouse, then and we're not.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a way higher percentage than we would have ever thought. But I'm sure it is. Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be the person that owns the card themselves or people that are friends. Hey, Joe, would you bid on my card here? Yeah, sure. So I absolutely,
because your friend has one of those cards too and wants to make sure that the price stays.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right. But that's what's going on. But
I wonder if during Jeff and Teapot's little interaction, if they specifically mentioned Patrick Ryan, because I know he and Jeff are pretty close. They've bought cards off of each other several times. So I'm wondering if he actually brought up the Patrick Ryan thing or just talked about shill bidding.
I feel like it was in like
the context,
to this,
like he actually physically said the words Patrick Ryan.
I don't know if he did. I don't remember. I just saw a little clip of it, but I was actually like, oh, come on, Jeff, you're being real dramatic. But at the same time, he was being real, because if he did do this, the hobby would have a much different. Although I will say, all the stuff I read about this and read about Dr. Beckett's version, like nobody seems to be agreeing with him. But then again, we're in a different part of the hobby than all the people that are doing this. So of course, I'm not going to get any kind of feedback that would agree with him, because I'm not in that group that does it. It's just all the rest of us normal people that have a little bit of common sense and logic that goes, that's not okay. It's never been okay. But, unless you're above a certain level in this hobby, then everything's okay, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe one thing that is or isn't okay, I know, I'm just a little frustrated with that, is if you win a raw card on Probstein's new Snype website, you win an auction over $100, they're automatically going to send your card to CGC to get graded and authenticated. It's going to cost you $12. Turnaround time is going to be around $20. But how do we feel about the fact that you have to send the card to them to get graded? I like the fact that there's a deal there to have the potential to get it graded if you want to send it to CGC, but I'm a little like, I can understand their side. It's kind of like their eBay authenticity guarantee, because they want to do that to make sure that it's authentic. And if it's not authentic, the seller has to pay the fee, which was kind of interesting. But I don't know that you necessarily should have to have it slabbed and graded. Am I wrong?
No, I didn't know it was. What did you say? Over $100?
Yeah, any raw cards over $100.
Yeah, that's bad, man. When eBay authentication first started, it was the raw card review was CGC, and they were great at it. Shit moved quick. We had no issues with the smallest little thing causing a kickback. That's when it was a good program. So I was kind of excited when I heard that Snype was going to use CGC for authentication. I didn't know they were using them for grading, though at least they're doing the quiet part out loud, unlike PSA and eBay, who are just like trying to con you into grading everything. So yeah, I don't love that. Like they have a history of authenticating raw cards through eBay's authentication program. So there should be no reason that you have to. They could just say, do what you did for eBay and we'll go with that. Or if someone clicks a box, wants to pay the money, then they can get it slabbed and graded. And $100 is a pretty low amount. Like if you win a raw card for $100 and it comes back, a 9, it probably hasn't gained any value, might have lost value even. So like, I just don't understand the requirement side of it. Authentication, absolutely. But to require them to slab it up, I mean, a great deal for CGC though, right? Like this is amazing for them, because how many cards, I mean, Probstein does sell a lot of under $100 cards, but they sell so many cards that the vast majority are going to be over $100. I would be shocked if they weren't. And that is a lot of money. And that's a lot of graded cards for CGC. It'll be very interesting to see what those grading numbers look like in the next couple of months.
Yeah, this is a disappointing, frustrating. Because I was excited about Probstein potentially being competition, one of the potential competitions for eBay as far as card sales are concerned. But this is going to sour some people, I have a feeling. It's great for some people who do want to get their cards graded. Obviously, this is a perfect thing. But requiring it for anything over $100, like the guys both said, like $100 seems like this like really low bar, like super low bar. Maybe even 300 is too low in my opinion to force somebody to get something graded. It's also that's a double-edged sword here, because I mean, obviously the going through the eBay one it's free, but then they're kicking them all back because they want to get them graded.
Free for now.
So free for now. Yeah, free for now. So I mean, eventually that's going to cost money, but at that point, well, why don't you just get it graded then? Like that's what it's going to turn into, right? So like Probstein's actually taking that step first and making people do it. I'm not 100%. I think it's a bad thing, but I can also see I can see where why they're doing it. I think it's a bad choice. I think the number's too low. If it was a higher number, I'd be a little better with it. It'd
have to be like 500 for me to be like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah. But yeah, $100 is crazy.
Probstein's doing it to cover their own butt. Because they're a consigner, and we all know now that people who do sketchy things with their cards, like they try Kurt's Card Care and it doesn't quite work, they send it to a consigner to get it sold. Yep. So I feel like now they're covering their butt because they put a big investment here and all their eggs are in this basket now that they probably can't afford to have a bunch of even $100 cards get kicked back to them. Like if people get it and then they try to send it to PSA and PSA is like, no, this was altered. And they're like, oh crap. So that's probably why they're doing it. But there's good news because you can opt out. I forgot to tell you guys this part. If you become a super bidder, that's BYDDER, super bidder, you can choose to opt out of the grading. What do you have to do to become a super?
Yeah, how much are we paying?
What's it cost? It doesn't cost anything, EP. All you have to do is to become a super bidder. It's an enhanced buyer program for those that consistently engage across the platform. I have no idea what that means, but if you do that, you can opt out of the grading.
After you buy 1,000 cards with us, you can become a super bidder. Is that what it is?
Consistently engage across the platform. Maybe if you go to the live auctions and you make a lot of comments. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell that means.
Yeah. I think we did talk about them saying that they wanted to be this thing where you could actually reach out and talk to other collectors.
Yeah,
I remember that being a big part of
it. They're doing live selling, and they want to have people in the rooms to watch the stuff being sold and stuff like that. Yeah,
and you know, the more people commenting, the more eyeballs on it, the bigger the platform gets. Yada yada yada. So it's maybe incentivizing people to go and do that, so it gets more eyeballs on the platform. It's genius. I mean, Prophecy ain't stupid. This is a really, really good way to draw traffic to those live auctions and to any sort of social aspect to this new site. And it's weird that, hey, if you interact more, we won't make you grade your cards. It's such a weird thing to say in the hobby.
Very weird, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so it's kind of like a win-win for Propstein. Either you become a super bidder and go and comment on a bunch of their stuff, or you have to get your stuff graded. I'm sure they have a nice deal with CGC. You know, when that happens, the man he knows the angles. You know, Propstein has done the angles for a while. This is, I mean, it's very smart.
Yeah, and $12 is a good price for the grading. But like you said, opt out. Do they also do they not have to then authenticate the card over $100? Like, there's no authentication at all? Like that just goes away.
Not. Yeah, I guess so.
So that seems kind of gross. Like, I mean, there's no authentication. Is there any authentication above that even? Like if that's that barrier, they put that barrier there just to get people to interact with their stuff. Like that just seems like, I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's what it says. All right. Well, you know, I wanted to talk about this because your boy went viral again. You know, I've been doing this a lot lately, but this time it was quite an experience. I posted a tweet on Twitter or a post on X. You decide.
No. You have to call it a post on X because you pay for that service, sir. You have the blue check mark. You got to call it X.
I pay a lot of money for that too. And you know, they locked my account again the other night after the sale. I had to go in and prove I was a human by moving somebody to the right seat and then getting a verification code. Like, so I'm you're making me pay to use your app to get more exposure, and then when I use your app, you're closing it down because you're not sure I'm real. Great job, Elon. Great job. But anyway, I had 21,000 views, which is a lot for a card post. It's not viral in the mainstream, but in the card world, it is. Here's what I said. I wrote down the post verbatim, so you guys can tell me what I did wrong here. I posted, "It will never not be funny to me when an eBay seller is willing to flat out decline a $90 offer when we were only $5 apart." Now, apparently, that makes me an idiot, and I'm really cheap, and I'm just whining about the fact that I couldn't get the card for $90, and cheap would just go out there and buy the card then, or I wouldn't sell it to you. Oh my God, did I get it from all different angles?
Yeah, you did.
Now in my head, and I feel like what I'm saying here, in which I replied, I had a lot of fun with this because people don't bother me when they call me.
This is why I'm not on social media, man.
But if I'm at a card show, this is what I kept telling people. Okay, so if you're selling to me at a card show and you say, "I'll do 95, and I say, "Would you do 90? Would you take the card, put it away in your case, and walk away from me? Or would you say, "I really have to be at 95? That was the point I was making. The seller sent me an offer of 95. I countered with 90. Instead of, if they had to have 95, recounter 95 and put a message saying, "This is my bottom line. Thanks for your interest." Instead of declining, you don't get a sale when you decline. So why would you decline? That's my whole point. Put it in the real world. Why should eBay offers make people really mad? Which, when you think about, if it was in real life, if you're at a card show, that interaction, "Would you do 90? No, I need to be at 95. That happens all the time, thousands of times at any card show you go to. But if you do it on eBay, screw you. Get out of here. I'm not talking to you again. Am I wrong? What is going on here?
I do need to verify. Mike is very cheap, and
Clearly.
no, I mean, yeah. The first off, it's. I'm going to call you adorable right now, Mike. It's adorable. You think you're going to put that on social media and not get crazy people come out of the woodwork. I think you're trying to go viral. You're trying to put things out there that
it's
get
called
crazy people.
Engagement. Yeah. If I could get up to 5 million impressions in a 3-month period, I can make money.
Oh,
I think they also call it rage bait. I think they also call it rage bait.
Yeah, that's called rage bait for sure. And I can just see, because I've known you for a long time, Mike, and I'll get to the whole actual thing for a second. We've known you for a long time. I can see you getting redder and redder every time someone posts something stupid, and you have to reply with the same
honestly
thing.
21,000 times.
21,000 times.
Redder.
Fucking son of a bitch. For the actual thing, no, you're right. I mean, people do get really, really weird about eBay offers. They get, I mean, I was going to make a joke. Some people just flat out decline them, but no. But even in your defense of that, I know. Even in your defense of that, I was going to say, if it's within $5, what are we talking about? You wouldn't have declined that. Like, people just get really defensive about eBay offers. This is a legit thing. Like, I've sent offers that are close, and they get just declined right out of the gate. Like, even just close ones, and it's like someone was sitting there looking at their phone, going, "How dare he offer me a 10% off my item that I have or best offer on?" Then don't put or best offer. If you're that stressed out about $5, don't put or best offer.
My situation was a seller offer to me, and they allowed counter offers. On the offer. And I had a lot of people saying, "Well, they already came down from their selling price." And my point was, no, they made the offer to me. That offer is their selling price, not what they originally had it at, because they clearly weren't selling it to the point where they were willing to send out an offer and leave counter offers on. So
if you're going to leave counter offers on, we're going to talk about some cards on Wednesday that we purchased. There were some that people sent me offers, and I saw that there wasn't a counter offer on, I'm like, it's this or nothing. So I'd accept it, right? But if there are counter offers on, you're begging people to send you a counter offer.
You're not sell the card,
right?
too.
You want to sell the card.
Yeah,
you're okay. Like we joke with EP all the time that he has offers on his $1.99 free shipping cards, and we're like, of course you're going to get people sending you like low ball offers because you have offers on. Once you leave that offer on or counters open, of course someone's going to counter. It's just human nature. And if the counter is $5, which again is at that point less than 5% off, right? Like, of course, that is not a terrible offer to just decline that and walk away. Very strange.
Yeah, I think my response. I think I responded right away to your text to us. I was like, that's a situation where somebody's giving up. They're holding on to $5 and losing a $90 sale. And I think we've kind of illustrated, like, and Mike even said the perfect example of it, in my opinion, is Card Show. If somebody's has $90 in cash, and we're $5 apart, give me the $90 in cash. I'm trying to sell this card anyway. Why I'm going to take that money? Like that's a better thing. I think because people think of it in the, like, I think their eBay money, as much as a lot of people think their digital money and their bank cards and stuff, like they spend that way easier than they spend cash. I think it's the opposite for card people, because they're thinking about, oh, well, I need to get that last $5 on eBay, where if they were selling in person, it'd be much easier for them to do it. And to your point, Joe, about my lower end cards, I do get a lot of offers like 99 cents on these cards with free shipping, where that's throwing money away. But then I also will get offers of like $1.50, and if that's a card that's been sitting up there for like 2 years, I sold a Richard Owens 2004 Leaf Rookies and Stars rookie card this last week. I sold that for $1.50 just because it's been sitting up there. Is anybody else ever going to have any interest in that card? So I'm going to go ahead and sell that for $1.50. I'm going to lose money on it, but maybe the person, when they're looking for another weird card, Minnesota Vikings rookie that never did anything, they may come back to my store.
Don't defend yourself, BP. The jury's already spoken.
Not a good look. My specific situation was, though, they sent the original offer was 100, and I countered at 85. I didn't think I was going to get it for 85, but that was fair. He countered it 95, and I was like, "Oh, well, 90 should do it." Yeah. So, just again, there was nothing in my wording there that I was complaining that the seller wouldn't sell the card to me for $90. I was shocked. I've been selling on eBay for a long time. I hate to do the I know about this, but I kind of do know about this because I've been doing it for a long time. I've had a lot of these interactions and I know how they go. I would never, ever, ever decline if that situation where we went back and forth. And it wasn't like I sent 5 offers. That was my second offer I sent to him. I would never, if I had to have that $5 more, I would let them know this is absolutely my bottom line price. And like most of the time, I think the person would buy it. I would buy this card if the seller sent me the counter offer and said, I'm sorry, but I really have to have 95. That's my low.
And in the counter offers and stuff too, there's a little box where you can put a little comment in there.
Yeah.
You just put that comment in there and just say that. Like it makes it easy for during that negotiation to be able to do that.
And if you're countering, this has happened to me before too with people as a seller, and a buyer does this to me. If your counter would have been the same as the original counter, the $85, then I decline.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. But you moved your price up. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, again, people looking for things to be mad about. Shocking.
I was a potential customer. That's what there are so many people that sell cards that don't know anything about business. I'm not your enemy. I'm your potential customer. That person making an offer might be a customer of yours. They might buy more stuff from you in the future. It's never a bad thing to make a new customer if you can. You don't have to give your stuff away, but you get close. I would have just given it for the $5 less on that. But if you have to have the $5, don't give up on it. You're reeling me all the way in, and then you just let me off
cutting the line.
Yeah, just cut the line and go, now I'm going to go look for another fish over here. Why? You're wasting your time. This was another thing a lot of people had a hard time understanding. The card is on eBay because you want to sell it. I got so many, oh, well, somebody, if the card could be worth more in the future and they might not want to sell it. I'm like, it was a 2015 Paul Heyman card. How many buyers do you think they have? Come on, people were making up all these scenarios just to make me wrong in the situation. And I'm just like, so you would rather, instead of talking to a customer who wants to buy your card, let them go try to find a new one. You're selling cards. You're a business, right?
Just EP. Do we believe that Mike did not get angry at all?
Oh, he got so angry. The nuanced anger was so nuancing. It was
no,
nuancing so much.
I didn't, because it was honestly the stuff people were saying was so dumb and ridiculous that it didn't bother me, because I don't care.
What percentage of them were defending you or taking your side? Like, if you had to put a percentage on it of people that were comments that were like on your side compared to against you, like what was it?
Well, it was kind of funny. It ended up kind of being close to 50-50. It was like people that agreed with me first, and then it started to grow, and every single person except for one that didn't agree with me weren't people that followed me. So there are people that just found this tweet and entered their 2 cents. And then it started to go back to, at the end, people that agreed with me. The one person that disagreed with me that followed me, I used the card show example, and like then we were kind of like, yeah, I understand. If it were that, I would agree with you. And he's like, in this situation, yeah, I would have let you know. He's like, you should have sent you a message. I'm like, that's all I was saying. Send me a message and let me know you have to have $95 for it. But yeah, one of those little things.
But what is the I was gonna say the pot at the end of the rainbow, but that's not right. But what is the good thing that happened though?
I actually ended up buying the card.
There you go. Yes.
I'm so cheap that, after all this back and forth with these stupid people, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just send the seller a message, and I'll let you know how this went down. I decided to myself, depending on how he answers me will depend on whether or not I'm going to buy this card.
Yes.
I just sent him a message saying, I said, if you really needed 95 on this card instead of 90, I wish you would have just recountered 95 and let me know, instead of flat out declining, because I was interested in the card. And the seller sent me back a message saying, he's like, yes, I'm sorry, I was really busy with other stuff when the offers were coming in and stuff. And he's like, if you are interested in the card at 95, you could send me an offer for it. And I was like, yes. So if he would have been a dick about it, there was no way I was going to buy it. But like, it's reasonable. Like, he could have been reasonable just sending me that, and he would have sold the card. But I feel like I did his work for him. But at the end of the day, he got to sell his card. I got to buy a card I wanted, and I'm not cheap. Don't you dare call me cheap in the comments. I will come at you.
My.
What am I going to do? I'm an old guy. I try to beat you up, I'd be huffing and puffing in 20 seconds.
Yep.
So one other little thing, we don't really talk about Funko Pops here. So let's talk about them. We're talking about PSA announced that they're no longer going to be grading Funko Pop after December 1st. This came along like really quickly. They're like, okay, you know what, guys, in a couple of weeks, we're not going to grade these anymore. Bye. So kind of interesting that it's an area that I thought they graded a decent amount of, but apparently not worth it. They're just cutting them out.
Yeah, I was surprised by this too. I think they're still authenticating autographs, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
But like, first off, I think grading Funko Pops is very strange anyway.
Why do you need your Funko Pop graded?
Yeah, I don't understand why people do that. It's not like a G.I. Joe from like the 1980s that has been out of the package, or maybe even in the package. And there are toy grading companies out there that actually do a good job with grading. So maybe that will be an avenue for the folks who, for some reason, feel the need to grade Funkos. That being said, I think this just turns into a reallocation of resources for PSA at this point. Do you think people were grading Funko Pops and they're like, nah, we need you to grade Pokemon. Like, we need you to come over and grade Pokemon. So I don't know how many they graded. I don't know how big the market is. I've seen Funko Pop slabbed up in a lot of places. Again, don't understand why you're doing it, but maybe that, the 2, 3, 4 people who actually grade Funko Pops, maybe they're being pulled over to start grading the over 1 million Pokemon cards that PSA is grading every month. It's got to be something like that, right?
Yeah, I talked about this on the my work podcast as well. And I think if you think about the amount of plastic that goes into grading a Funko Pop, they could probably grade like 3 cards with the amount of plastic that is wrapped around that thing, probably. So, like, that's definitely a resources thing, in my opinion. But I mean, Funko Pops, I know I guess maybe they're not as popular as they were, but I don't think there's probably not. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
There are walls of them at toy stores.
Like, yeah.
I've seen Kyle Peterson go on toy hunts, right, and there will be walls of them. Now, I don't know if there are walls of them because no one's buying them anymore, or there's walls of them because people keep buying them and they keep bringing new ones in. But they are still out there. They are very much out there, and maybe Funko is proving the thing that we've been saying about cards. You don't need to really grade everything. Maybe Funko collectors are really, proving that for us.
Well, Joe, you even said, like, why who's grading Funko Pops? Like the people are obsessed with grading. Like, it's probably card collectors, right? Probably comic book collectors. It's probably people that get other things graded. So, I mean, like, if PSA grades it, I got to buy it and I got to get it graded. So, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people that are in that mindset that are buying them and getting them graded. I don't have any graded, by the way.
I have one there, and I have one a box right there. You see it?
Yeah.
That's Paul Heyman.
I pointed to mine. I got Leslie and Ron from Parks and Rec, and then I think this is Luke Skywalker here, maybe. So I got a couple myself.
I have one.
This might be Luke Skywalker.
I have a box set of me and Amy in a Funko Pop.
Oh wow! Really?
I do. Yeah. It was a Christmas present from the kids last year. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
By the way, I love EP's like, how you've seen Funko Pops, right? They're not showing someone's actual
face. It looks just like,
I guess, probably looks just like them, though. I'm guessing.
It was weird. I was wondering why those people knocked at my door and then came in and made like a cast of my face. Yeah, no, they used like the plaster on.
Did they?
It was weird. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it though. I just went about my day, and then when Christmas came around, we opened up the gift. They're like,
now it makes sense. Yeah.
So you mentioned about the plastic EP, and my mind went somewhere else. I'm like, maybe PSA is finally admitting we use too much plastic and we're going to destroy the environment.
Nah,
that's not it.
They're just going to Pokemon cards anyway. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
I asked this on my other podcast too. Like imagine how much plastic, like what size of warehouse they must have, like plastic on hand to be able to grade 2 million cards in a month or whatever. Like what was it? 1.27 million Pokemon. Like think about the amount of plastic they have to have and like constantly coming in. Like it's like I can't wrap my head around how much there must be.
I would like to see a picture of their lab warehouse where they keep everything. Because like you get a stack of 20 of those and you're trying to find room in your house to put them. Like, I don't know what they do with the millions and millions that they have. And then the Funko Pops, like, imagine how much room just getting those in takes up.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you put them?
Oh, and that's probably 6-8 slabs wide, right? For the Funko Pop ones.
And to make those cases, they're probably not cheap. I mean, that seems like a very specialized thing to have made. That if you're not, I mean, even if you were churning a lot of them out, you would need a massive holding area for that. I can't even imagine. It's crazy. So yeah, all you Funko Pop graders, congratulations. Welcome to the Pokemon grading team.
They already hit the unsubscribe button. They're mad at us.
Yeah.
Talking badly about Funko Pops. All right. Well, that's all I got for you this week. That was a pretty good chat, boys. But I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
Adios.
Eugene Ponderosa signing off.